Hola, timid investors. Well, every election, some Americans threaten to leave the country if their candidate doesn't win. And many actually do.
The year of Trump's inauguration, the number of Americans that applied for permanent residency in Canada increased by more than 32%. And they don't just go to Canada. Here are some other countries around the world where U.S. citizens emigrate to.
I left the U.S. and emigrated to Spain 2 weeks after the 2020 presidential election. In this video, I will provide a list of countries that share the Democratic Party's values and provide a brief overview of different visa pathways and cities to live in. This is not a step-by-step tutorial. This is not a comprehensive guide. I cannot answer immigration questions. Please refer to consulate websites and immigration consultants and lawyers. Resources will be linked in the pop-ups and description below. This is just to get you started.
If you're new here, this is Tara from the channel She Saves, He Invests, They Travel, bringing travel tips and finance stories ordinary people can relate to. In no particular order, here are the countries. Our first country on the list is France. Besides having great food, wine, and countryside, France has a strong capitalist economy and social welfare programs. Quality of life is prioritized, and France boasts many beautiful cities. Emmanuel Macron supports Presidents Obama, Biden, and Vice President Harris. France has high taxes, but remember, you don't mind high taxes so much. You're a Democrat, and you get a lot in return for those taxes. U.S. citizens can get a long-stay visa, which can convert to temporary residency and then eventually permanent residency. With this option, you can work for yourself for a French company or live off your passive income or savings. France also offers citizenship by descent, the entrepreneur visa, talent visa, and au pair visa. Great cities to move to in France are towns in Alsace region, Brittany, Besançon, Biarritz, but not for low prices. Biarritz is expensive. The Bordeaux region, the Dordogne region, Lyon, Montpellier, Provence, or the Provence region, Rennes, and Toulouse. Our next country is Colombia. Still relatively cheap, close, safer, and more bougie than it used to be. It's no wonder that almost 60,000 US Americans have immigrated to Colombia. It's in a useful time zone for many US Americans and borders 5 other countries, so it's conveniently located. It has diverse nature, so there's something for each taste. It has mountains, rainforest, and shorelines on both the Caribbean and Pacific Ocean, and contains 6 distinct climate zones. Spanish is familiar to many US Americans, so it will be easier to pick up the language than many of the languages spoken in Asia. And Colombian Spanish is some of the easiest Spanish for non-natives to comprehend. Also, Colombia has pretty good and affordable healthcare and public education. Public transit and infrastructure are getting better too. Depending on where you are, you might not need a car, because Colombia has many walkable cities. So there are 3 main visa categories: a visitor visa, a migrant visa, and an R resident visa. There is a remote worker visa that many US Americans take advantage of. Native English speakers can teach English at a language academy, private institution, or university pretty easily and secure a student visa doing that. Check the Colombian Consularia website for the most recent visa information. Some cities you might want to consider include Bogotá, Villa de Leyva, Cartagena, and Cali. Colombia just experienced severe flooding, so please wait a few weeks to a few months before you go. Links are in the description if you want to donate. The next country is New Zealand. I know, it's far away from the US and expensive, but it has low gun violence, strong civil rights, free speech, and freedom of religion rights. It prioritizes the environment by protecting 30% of the land by designating it as a national reserve. It's not a realistic move for most, but if there's enough interest, I will do a follow-up video providing more details. For now, start with the New Zealand immigration website linked in the description and take the quiz to figure out how many points you have and what visa options are available to you. Popular places to live are Auckland, Wellington, Napier, Dunedin, Queenstown, and Raglan. The next country is Chile. Chile is arguably the country with the best socioeconomic indicators in Latin America. Santiago has cheap and excellent public transit and great hospitals. Chile is one of the safest countries in Latin America. Spanish is the official language, but English can also be heard in major cities. Santiago Airport is one of the most developed on the continent, so although Chile is far away, it's well connected. Chile is the least corrupt country in South America, economically stable, and has a low crime rate. It also has some of the most beautiful nature in the world. However, Chile is not cheap or free from all danger and nuisances. It has a high frequency of earthquakes, many bigger cities suffer from vandalism in the form of graffiti and petty thefts, and driving in Chile can be scary for many immigrants used to following the rules of the road. To move to Chile, you can secure a tourist card, which permits you to stay in the country for up to 90 days. U.S. Americans entering Chile through the Santiago airport will have to pay a fee for their tourist card, or a temporary residency visa. There are several categories. There's the family category, the retiree and pensioner category, the student category, the investor category, and the work visa category. The work visa category is for foreigners working for a Chilean employer. As far as places to live in Chile, Santiago is the most expensive city to live, but because it has everything, it's the most convenient. There's also Arica, Valdivia, and Concon, which are much cheaper. Concepcion and Puerto Varas are more beautiful and cheaper than Santiago. Our final country is Panama. Panama is close to the US, at just a 3.5-hour flight from Orlando to Panama City, the capital. It's the most developed country in Central America, so prices are going to be a little higher than in other Central American countries, but still lower than in many US cities. A 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house in one of the most desirable areas of the Boquete region will cost you around $225,000 US, for example. Panama has a more humid and tropical climate than neighboring mountainous Costa Rica. But if tropical is your type of climate, then you'll love it. You can go to Panama for up to 180 days on a tourist visa with a US passport. You can get your tourist visa just by showing up at the border. To stay longer, you can get a remote worker visa or a pensionado retirement visa. The remote worker visa allows you to live in Panama for up to 18 months. You can qualify as a freelancer or employee, as long as you make at least $36,000 per year. Panama's retirement visa is one of the best in the world because it contains so many perks like discounts on healthcare and entertainment, and you only need to demonstrate that you receive $1,000 a month to qualify. Popular areas to live include Panama City, David, and Boquete.